Hello everyone and welcome to another session of Abalandeli Belanga. It's your host here, Unga Umlandeli Welanga, coming to you on a Sunday morning. On a beautiful Sunday morning. It's still a bit chilly. We are in the hour of Mercury, in the hour of Onoma Jubane, the messenger of the gods, of which he is called Moses, if you're using the Bible allegory, or Tehudi if you're into the Kemetic school, or Hermes if you are looking at the Greek equivalent of this system. And so this morning again I want to insist, if I may use that word, or plea, yes, a plea rather, to say, can we come together? Can we come together? Muntu omnyama, whatever creed, whether you follow Idlozi, Christian, Muslim, Buddhist, whatever it is you are following, can we come together so that we may actually build a system of reckoning our natural environment, a system that will be able to govern how we interact with our natural environment. Throughout the centuries, there's always been a class of individuals, or secret societies, if you may. Yeah, there were always these clusters of men who were able to see through the multiplicity of life, who were able to recognize the oneness, the synchronicity of it all. And so you'd find that for any culture to progress, for any culture to survive, you would always find this class of men as the pillars of that culture's foundations, because it would be among those men there will be different classes. There will be those who will seclude themselves into the mountains for certain periods of time and come back with realizations. Either thus says the Lord, or this is what I've been shown. Then among those men, there were others who would take it even further. Once receiving those realizations, or once those realizations being narrated to them, they will take it now and start breaking it down analytically. Here in the spheres, we have the left sphere, the analytical, which the side which objectifies, it breaks things down. And then on the right sphere, or the holies of holies, yes, the holy and the holy of holies, we have the whole. The whole picture, the picture broken down. And so among these men, there would be some who would take it further and break it down. Breaking it down, of course, aligning it or harmonizing it, or harmonizing that realization in the physical world around them, or in the world of physics. And then there were some who were able to even take it, or who do take it even further. And they will take that realization into the world of chemistry. Others will take it into the world of vibration, music. and resonance. Some will take that realization into the, okay, I've said physics, into the metaphysical stuff, the study of the noumenal planes. Whether you call it subquanta, the metaphysical realm, that is where that knowledge would come from, and that is how it would filter down to the layman. And these sects, they had many names. The Owanes, or the Wowanes, or the aP-KaLu, aba-KuLu. A group of men dedicated to living in a certain way so that they may be interpreters of the metaphysical world. And when these groups of men would started narrating these visions, for example, one of the visions that was narrated was, in the beginning was the Word. Or, in the beginning was the darkness. And the Spirit hovered above the darkness. Then there was a let there be light. They would go now and look for that moment in nature. They would look for it in nature. And that let there be light moment in nature, it would be given to the energy of sunrise, or the letter A, or the letter Aleph. And then that is where you will find now the sages pulling from different fields, or from different avenues of the seven schools of understanding how light from the immaterial comes down into the material states of matter. That's how they would do it. And so, independent of what was being given to the goyim, or the lay people, independent of how they interpret the scriptures that come from these beings or these groups, it would be independent. But at whatever stage of history, for a people to survive, for a people to continue living, to have a history, have an oral tradition passed down through the millennia, you will need this class of people who will be able to take the most simple of artifacts and be able to put into that artifact everything concerning that culture. And those would be inganekwane, your allegories, your fairy tales, the scriptures. That is why, for example, if you look in the Hebrew text, that first verse in the beginning can be put on your 10 fingers. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. It gives you 10. That's how they gave us those codes. And that is why, for example, in the Hebrew schools, you can take their written language and go crazy with it into the spaces of science. You can take that alphabet and ascribe chemical elements to each and every one of those symbols. The same with Sanskrit, the same with the Asians, because that class was able to remain intact so that they may be able to give their people the way. Even though it might look different to the people, but to the insiders, to those who have been initiated. The Hebrews, those initiated into the schools, those who have passed over into those knowledge systems, they would understand it is one. Now, I'm not trying to say everyone go running around claiming to be Hebrew, they've passed over. No. That title, or Habiru or Habiru, the same as the title Isangoma, Sanusi, Inyanga, those are people who have been initiated or circumcised into a certain understanding of the workings of their reality. And now if you look at us today, and I'm sorry I have to use these these foreign cultures, but then again, we do claim that we birthed those cultures. And so what I'm trying to say is, as a young black man living in South Africa, I realize that need, that above our tribal differences, above our religious creed differences, above the differences of language, we need a class of minds who will interpret the reality for the next generations, understanding that everything and anything, it comes to what? It comes to one point. As the axiom says, all is one and one is all. And we are missing this. We don't have, or I would like to think we don't have it. Or the ones that think that's what they are doing, they are missing it, because the knowledge that they are keeping, it is not translating into practical application in our daily lives. It is not translating into the practical application because it is still one-sided. We are looking at reality as if it is separated and segmented. We still have this idea that we came into the world or the earth, when in actuality we come out of it. We are born out of the earth. And so we fail to realize this, we fail to realize the oneness. And for a black child, for example, who grows up speaking isiZulu, studies in English, studies science, the basics of understanding, studies science in English, we are not able to realize the symmetry or where these schools come together, because we don't have that class of men anymore who will give us those curriculums that in the end you must see the oneness. Whether you are studying that oneness expressed as ubugedla, or you are studying it expressed as a sanusi, or as a stone worker, or as whatever. But we need to be understanding that we are working from that one principle. And what we also need to add to that, or be comfortable with the sad realization, is that because of our historical disposition, we have fallen behind in time. And so some of the gems that we are trying to unearth we seem to say to, or in our cosmologies and cosmogonies, how our ancients approached life. Those systems have been taken, sometimes not necessarily interpreted correctly, but that understanding is now expressed as science in today's world. That is why, for example, you will find in the Kemetic system, you will find atom, which can be expressed as the atom. These are not by chance. These actually should be telltale signs showing us that actually that is where that knowledge is now. And now the question is, how do we syncretize these two now? The cosmogony, the cosmology, and the metaphysical understanding of my people and how it's been contextualized in today's world. I'd like to believe we'd first need to understand that it is one and the same thing. And this oneness, if we can get over the chip we have on our shoulder, would be the realization that language, if this premise holds, then we would need to realize that all languages are one. Like I said, if that first appearing of the sun, if we give it to Aries, the A principle, if we're giving that A, that's the alphabet. Which means the unfolding is one, meaning all languages are one. That is why you can have such transliterations as atum or atom and adam or damu, because the alphabet is one. And so today, that is what we need. We need a group of highly motivated and dedicated individuals. Minds that have been trained in the art of analytical and logical thinking. We need a class of individuals who will band together and say, let us put back the old system, the old model, and assimilate it with the new. That is one of the reasons why among us we are so able, even though we say we speak different languages, but we can still communicate. And if you'd care to actually go into it and study it, you'd be able to take any of your languages and take it back down to the older languages, like your Kwe, or the Khoisan languages, if you want. Because we are dealing with a oneness. And not seeing this oneness is going to enslave us again. Because it's giving us a mental block as to understanding the physics. Because we do not have anything tangible to ascribe it to in our natural tongues, in our mother tongues. And so we need a league. And when I say men, I'm not talking just amadoda. I mean men and women that will come together for this understanding, that will dedicate themselves to the study of the Trinity, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, or the dielectric magnetism and electricity. And please hear me when I say, it's not that we don't know these principles, we are just not realizing to the symbols that are being used today because of our historical disposition. In all the schools we have, and our alchemists, our masons, they understand the science, that science in their indigenous systems. And for us to put it together, we need to take that knowledge and recognize it where it's expressed. as according to our understanding. Now, it's not all science, or all schools, or it's not all explanations that have been put out by physics that will assimilate or syncretize with our system, with our indigenous systems. It's not all of them, but there are some. And where they do, man, it's amazing. Like, for example, the mystic and scholar Dr. Walter Russell. If you were to go into his work as a man who approached science with a metaphysical understanding and the understanding of the physics, of how it manifests in the physics thereof, man, it's amazing. It's amazing how he's able to codify it. So this is me trying to say, we do have a code. We do have among us people that can work these energies. But the symbols are of the old system. If we understand the symbols of today, we'll be able to take that knowledge and assimilate it. And put together a thesis for whatever system that you have. As long as you are able to do what? To replicate it. Of which you'll be able to, because you'll be understanding the symbols. That is where we need to be. We are stuck in the old world, in the old system. We need to be studying the science. We need to know what is itongo in science. We need to know what is idlozi in science. We need to start using the terms we have. Using the terms we have to build systems of thought, mind frames of thought, so that we can build this bridge. We cannot, how long are we going to say we gave the world civilization, we gave the world maths and science, we built this, we built that, but not be able to recognize it and refuse to recognize it in the modern world? Where are you living? You're not living back then, you're living today. It's today's symbols that we need to understand, that we may again produce inventors, that we may again produce thinkers and minds that will give us solutions for the problems that we have. And I'm not talking about get rich quick schemes here. I'm talking about solutions that can be given to communities. Not this thing of coming up with something, then you run to the, what's the word? To the intellectual office, and you fight with white people because they won't give you intellectual property for your creation. We need people who will be able to find solutions. For example, the problems we are having with the municipal water and electricity. We need minds that will be able to find solutions, implement them in their communities, and then governance comes to them and says, can we buy into your technology? But don't try to monetize it first, because when you try to monetize it, the big dogs are going to get you. Give it to the community. Let the community use it. Let the community learn how to work it. It cannot be taken once it's in the community. Those are the minds we need. So yes, guys, we need to come together. Pedi, Tswana, Xhosa, whatever, whichever. This chip on our shoulder that Tswana is better than Umzulu, or vice versa, or the older tribes are better than the newer tribes, or today's tribes are speaking a Tsotsital compared to the older tribes. Guys, if it's making us fight, let's put it aside. If it's making us fight, let's put it aside so that we can start building. We've argued enough. We've argued enough and we still don't have a system of reckoning. And so yes, that is Abalandeli Belanga. Please don't forget to like our page and do follow us on Facebook. It's capital NG and the small letter A, Nga. Thank you for listening and happy Sunday.